Welcome back to the PC and Wolf Show. We are back from the dead.
Just like COVID-19, baby, calls the Delta boys.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, it's
Don't
starting
listen
off
to my
good.
co-host. We're back from the dead like the Undertaker. We are back. We are on now instead of CBS Sports Radio, the Lounge Room Network. We appreciate those guys over there, Adam, Juan, getting us back in here. Zach talked me back into, or Zach PC, you guys know if you listen to the show before, now. PC talked me back into doing the show again. Always love doing it. I'm just a busy man. So
yeah, we're busy now. We're adults. We're full-blown adults.
Yeah, we're adults now. We have like real jobs and shit. It's crazy. And that's the other thing. Speaking of shit, it's basically the same show, only we don't have to talk about Arizona sports as much. We're going to talk about all sports, of course. But I am a Chicago guy. PC is a Detroit guy. But we are realists. Like PC, he knows, Detroit sports, dog shit.
So unless it's the 90s, don't talk to me. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
He doesn't want to talk about anything but the 90s.
Throwing up on us.
But we will be talking about all sports, all content, sports related. And that's pretty much going to be the show that we do going forward. The only difference is, of course, I get to swear again. So that's awesome. Me and the FCC weren't getting along too well.
I was so afraid to get fined by the FCC, especially when we talked about Ray Rice, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we did get a big no for talking about Ray Rice, so we will try to be sensitive to that. No promises. Awful person, great football player.
I heard he can't read either, so that's why he's a millionaire.
Terrible.
We've had this discussion before.
The
more you can't read, the more you are a millionaire.
Yeah,
this is science.
Everybody knows that.
Children at home don't learn how to read.
Yeah. If you learn how to read, good chance you won't be a millionaire.
Your chances of becoming a millionaire just plummet.
Dramatically plummet. Yeah. We're talking sewer rat plummet.
Speaking of plummeting, just like the NBA viewership for the past 3 years, why is the NBA so soft? Like where are we at here? Why are we here? Where are we where we're at?
I couldn't tell you. I can name a couple things that are very soft.
James Harden.
Kitties' bellies.
Yep.
Dogs in general. Stuffed animals. Natural titties. And the NBA, dude. All in the same category. That's where we're at. It's awful.
You can't hand check people. You touch somebody. This whole jumping into people, with which what I've read already is great. They've taken that out of the rule book. You know that, right?
What's
where
that,
if the defender goes up and the offender is on the ground, so they jump into you for contact, that's no longer a foul. The offender has created the contact, so they're no longer calling that moving forward next year, which is, I think, great for the game.
Do you still get space to land?
You still get space to land, yeah.
Okay, but if you initiate the contact, then you
exactly. You know how like Devin Booker or James Harden like go up and they're like, no, they'll like jump into you for the shot and then take it. That's no longer a foul. Yeah.
Love Steph Curry. I think he made that whole thing way worse.
Yeah. But we were just talking about this the other day when the USA lost to Nigeria and then lost to France. Why can't these superstars beat teams with 1 or 2 NBA players? And I looked at the lowlights for the Nigeria game, and what I saw was, Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant, every time they went into the lane, they would get touched very softly and then just jack up a shot. Now, in the NBA, that's going to be a foul shot, possibly, and one.
As you saw in the NBA Finals with Giannis.
Oh, God.
No disrespect to Giannis. PC's not a big Giannis guy. But
good for him. Get your title. I'm great. You're good. But no, that's soft. You're an enlarged James Harden at this point, and I'm not okay with that. You're 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan, and you get tapped and you're flailing your arms. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah,
get over it.
I've seen him get fouled. Like I've seen him actually get fouled, but we all know the difference between him just going up for a shot and then calling a foul every single time he shoots.
Yeah,
and it not being a foul. But that's a common theme in the NBA.
Exactly. When you are driving the lane and there's contact, all right, cool. If you're not driving into the paint and there is contact, like a chest bump, that's not a foul. It's just not. It should never be called.
How do you play defense?
You can't touch a defender anymore. Or an offender. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And like you just said earlier today, The fouls per game in the NBA are insane.
Yeah, and it's not getting better. So
No.
here's, for example, right? This is what we had pulled up. The league average fouls in the NBA was 41.6 fouls per game a year ago.
And that even seemed high to me.
And that's insane, right? That's 20 a team typically. That's a lot of fouls.
Yep.
Now, going into this year with last year's results, 48.1 fouls per game.
Not to mention the stoppages for this ridiculous end of the game within the last 2 minutes stuff. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a break. Where the defender hits the ball out of the offender's hands and it goes out of bounds, and they review that and call it the defender's ball.
Yeah. Let's clear
I was
that
about
up.
to lose my mind.
Yeah, the Suns got
Basic
screwed
physics.
with that 3 times.
Basic
right?
physics.
Yeah.
You hit the ball out of the offender's hand. You were the reason the ball went out of bounds. You were the contact. Yes, more than likely, the palm of your hand was on the ball last as the offender. That's not the defense's ball. That's offensive ball.
Right.
That's how
there's
it's been for 9,000 years.
Like,
since Jesus Christ was playing basketball. That's how it's been.
Since BC, that has been the rules.
Yep.
Jesus Christ himself made those rules. And y'all want to play with that.
Y'all want to play with Jesus' rules.
Yeah. Okay. You know, that's between you and Jesus now. I can't save you. But I will say there's a flip side to that, of course, right? Like if somebody knocks it out and it hits somebody's foot before it goes out, so be it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But like if you force the ball out of bounds, it's out on you.
Yes. And that's how it's played high school, the G League, backyardigans, like
backyard
everything.
bonanza ball. Yeah. Everybody knows that, dude.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous. And the NBA is like wondering why their viewership is just plummeting. And they're wondering why they're just floundering with their views. And it has nothing to do with it has a little bit to do with, but not as much to do with their political stance, which who gives a shit? Do what you want to do as a corporation. I don't care.
As Matt Nagy would say.
Yeah. When the result of the plays create a 2-hour-long game to a 3-hour-long game, it's not okay. We don't have time for that. We just
the last 3 minutes of every NBA game is a half an hour long.
Takes 40. Yeah. Remember in the playoffs for the Suns, the last minute and 24 seconds took 33 real-time minutes. That is not okay.
Possession fouls.
I was at that game. That was game 2 of the Western Conference Finals.
That was the Ayton dunk, right?
Yeah, that was the Ayton dunk.
That was sick.
33 real-time minutes for a minute and 23 seconds in game time. Not
ridiculous. Okay. That's just that can't happen.
And then sort of to bring us back on point, we were looking at the FIBA rules and the Olympic rules. And what I came to a realization is during the France versus Slovenia game that just happened, there was 39 fouls total.
As opposed to 48 average. That's average too. Like
Argentina versus Australia, 32 fouls. And USA versus Spain, 36 fouls. So in FIBA and the Olympics, you have less fouls per game. You have just as exciting gameplay. I've watched some of the games. It's been fantastic. The Slovenia versus
basketball
France game, that was amazing. Even though Luka, I guess he got hurt and he wasn't playing very well, but that was a fantastic game. I don't need to see 120 to 124 to be an exciting game.
I remember when see people on the free throw.
No, I don't need to see
like that many.
Yeah, I don't need to see James Harden or Giannis take 18 free throws in one game. It's unacceptable. It's
unacceptable. You see these guys like your, Bradley Beal scoring 8 points a game, 10 points a game. Yeah, dude, because you're not on the free throw line.
That's exactly what it would be if you were in the NBA. That's exactly what it would be.
Or the FIBA.
You were perennial. Yeah, you were perennial 20 point. You average, I think, 22 points a game, and you're averaging 8. And that has nothing to do with Kevin Durant being on the team or Draymond Green or Booker or Damian Lillard, whoever. That's because you can't get to the basket and you can't score now. You can't get to the free throw line.
Because all of a sudden it's different. Insane. So anyways, that's about how we feel on how soft basketball is right now.
We're going to go way deeper into this as our season continues and when it rolls back in. But this is just a little bit of a preview of what's going on, how we get off on the tangents and how we really hate just soft play. I mean, we both grew up in the 90s where we're watching the bad boy Pistons just beat the living dog dirt out of Michael Jordan. And people were throwing punches and it was a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul. You're not getting ejected.
God forbid Rasheed Wallace looks at an NBA ref without getting a technical now. I mean, obviously he doesn't play anymore, but I specifically remember when Rasheed Wallace was later in his career for the Portland Trailblazers before he was traded to the Pistons. He looked at a ref and got a T.
Or all the fans that want to, mock people now in the crowd. Why don't you ask Ron Artest how that worked out for you?
Yeah. Speaking of, this month, they're actually doing a 30 for 30 on the Malice at the Palace. Ooh, Netflix is doing it. I can't wait.
Dude,
I can't wait.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest moments of all time.
It was so great. I wanted to be there. I wanted to get punched by Ron Artest or Steven Jackson. That'd be so dope.
Yeah.
Just imagine the story you could tell.
Oh, yeah.
I was just there and Steven Jackson punched me. I didn't do anything,
bro,
but
I got jawed out by Ron Artest.
I got jaw ruled out, boy.
Jaw ruled. Oh my! I got John Moranted out by Ron Artest.
The next topic we're going to go over, though, is the rookie quarterbacks going into this 2021-2022 season. Now, there is some excitement around from what I hear in Chicago, and there's some excitement, for the Jets, apparently, because they have something to be excited about. And then
allegedly,
and then San Francisco's just looking at Trey Lance like he throws the ball sometimes.
Where do you want to start with? Should we just go through draft order? So we'll start with Lawrence?
Go for it. We'll go for Lawrence.
So Lawrence,
go for it.
I mean, Lawrence was the consensus one, and the consensus two was Fields forever. And then he was as
highly rated as Andrew Luck was going into
who was a great NFL quarterback. Like, let's not downplay the way he left. Weird,
little bit unprofessional.
He left at a fourth quarter of a preseason game against the Chicago Bears. Weird, but
oh my God, he pulled a Vontae Davis. So, if
you will,
and if you don't know who Vontae Davis is, during a real NFL game, not like a preseason game, the boy was just like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah,
he just left the building, put his shoulders pads down at halftime, said the Bills that you ain't shit, dipset. Yeah. I'm out.
And if you guys are familiar with our show by any means, we do a Vontae Davis halftime report halfway through the show always.
Yep. Where we say which athlete should have retired at halftime over the past week. Quit. We'll go over this. It'll be fun. It'll be a little segment where we do. But Trevor Lawrence was obviously the number one pick, even though he got bopped up by Justin Fields in the semifinals.
An absolute bopping. But that's neither here
nor there. It was a bopping.
It's there.
Yeah, he was asking people what the spaghetti rules were. Like, what's your spaghetti policy at halftime? He's like, I didn't even know.
Justin Fields walked into Clemson's locker room at halftime and said, "Hey, what's up? What's y'all's spaghetti policy in here?"
Yep. He was asking. He was asking for blood.
Yeah.
But no, he was number one, and then it sort of got a little weird.
Wonky,
very quickly. Wonky, like my knees. They're very, very weird very quickly. Who went second?
So then Zach Wilson to the Jets.
Which I think we were both on the same page.
There's upside, but he played at BYU.
Yeah, he played at BYU. But I don't think myself or Wolf, I don't think we had a problem with Sam Darnold.
No.
I didn't. I thought he was great.
I thought it was a dumb trade.
Great. I thought it was a very dumb trade. Help him out. Yeah, you drafted an O-lineman after you drafted number 2 because I think they had like the 10th pick or 13th pick or whoever. Mm-hmm. But you drafted poorly around him.
They had
he had a freaking janitor as the wide receiver, number 1 wide receiver.
Legit janitor.
Like literally,
they called
him, was like, "Hey, I know you just got done picking up puke in the locker room, but you want to put on some pads and go catch a ball?" And he was like, I bet.
Robbie Anderson, that shithead on your team.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson kind of balled out, but like, let's be real.
No, Robbie Anderson now is
receiver.
He's a Panther. He did very well for me. One of my only good players on my fantasy team. But for real, when he was with the Jets, he's a janitor. Like, I don't even understand it. But I don't think that was the right play. I don't think Zach Wilson's ready. I think he's going to get eaten up. He has still no offensive weapons. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, because they went guard.
Yep, guard. And then I don't think they picked the wide receiver until the second. And we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot. It's just a crapshoot.
Yeah. It's a complete roll the dice. It's a gamble with
Mhm.
any wide receiver. So Zach Wilson, we weren't super high on. I think the ceiling's there. I think the team around him is bad, and I think it's Sam Darnold project over and over again.
They're another
he's more mobile.
3-win team.
Yeah.
He is more mobile than Sam Darnold. But if you look at the draft reports, they were rated eerily similar.
Oh,
very,
Sam Darnold
very
and
similar.
and
And
Zach
Zach Wilson. So you just upgraded from the same quarterback throwing ability to somebody who has a little bit more mobility. And we've
Right.
seen how that's played out over the last few years. Show me the last quarterback that has wheels that won a Super Bowl, because I'll wait.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's not going to happen. It's just not. I mean, besides
speaking
maybe Patty Mahomes, but come on.
Yeah. And he
That's
doesn't
just
really
freaking
he's
nature.
not super fast.
Yeah.
He's mobile, but he's not super fast.
Mhm.
So Trevor Lawrence, we can't really fault the Jags on that.
Nope.
Zach Wilson, just a weird pick. I think they could have done a lot better things, including not trading Darnold and trading back and acquiring more draft.
Yeah, they could have traded back, or even took what's his name, who the Lions drafted. No, Penei.
Penei Sewell.
Well, yeah, that dude's gonna be a guarantee right now. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
He's a monster,
freaking
dude.
stud. He's a monster.
Yeah. He's a Quentin Nelson type guy. I can't go wrong.
Oh yeah.
Offensive lineman.
Yep.
And then at number 3, so as much as I want to bust the 49ers balls for this pick, they picked Trey Lance, but to put number 3 into number 4, Trey Lance is an unpolished, mobile guy with a decent arm, good arm strength, and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Unpolished.
But he's just raw.
But at number 3, right? And
he didn't play last year.
He played one game last year, and then he played D2 football essentially for North Dakota State, same as where Wentz went. So riddle me this. You're the 49ers. And here's the traits I just gave you. Athletic, smart, mobile. And his bad traits are didn't play for a big school.
Yep.
Hasn't played in big moments.
Didn't ball out against bad schools.
And throwing wise was not great. So let me give you some traits. Super intelligent. Played in the national championship. Played for a Big Ten school.
Yep.
Fastest 40 times since RG3.
Yep.
At quarterback. Second fastest quarterback 40 time ever. Most accurate passer in the draft last year.
Stupid smart.
And really, really smart. So does that check all the boxes?
Yep.
So why the fuck are you taking Trey Lance over Justin Fields if you're the 49ers?
At number 3.
At number 3. And I love it because he somehow fell to the Bears, but it just seems like a piss
they traded up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded up. And
11.
Really, I'm a Michigan fan. I watched Justin Fields just eat up, Michigan, because they're garbage. They're hot garbage, especially with Jim Harbaugh.
I love Harbaugh, but he can't beat big teams. He can't win when it matters.
There is only one exception to what I'm about to say. You draft quarterbacks from the top 5 powerhouse conferences, with the exception of Alabama. Do not, and I repeat, do not ever take an Alabama quarterback because they're dog shit.
They're not been
garbage. There has not been one since 1966 that's done anything in the NFL. Nothing. Yeah. Tua, prime example. This man threw for less than 100 yards 3 times last year, and he only played 7 games. And they were talking about trading him this year.
And he played 7 games.
Deep.
That's it.
You're 1 year deep on a guy that you were high on. And now he's done because you've seen his ability. He barely beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I'm pretty sure Kurt Warner can come off of his geriatric couch right now and be better than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
There's a strong possibility of that.
Like, it just does. Like, Mac Jones will be a clown. And the sooner they start him, it's just going to prove that Bill Belichick is also a clown. And I can't wait, because I've said this since probably 2011 that Bill Belichick has been carried by Tom Brady for 20 straight years, and last year proved exactly what I said. And nobody wants to talk about it, but here we are. The man has a losing record without Tom Brady, and it's not even a good record. It's like a 40% win rate. It's not good. It might even be in the 30s now because they lost so many games last year.
And you can no longer say that Brady is just a product of Belichick because he just went to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
So
and then rounding out that last one, because Justin Fields, I think, and we have a group discussion with our friends, and I think he does need to sit for a little while. But I think if he does get thrown to the Wolves, he's in the right division to do it because the Lions are so bad and the Vikings are so bad. Now they have a controversy at quarterback with Kirk Cousins not wanting to take the vaccine, which is whatever. I don't care what you do.
So Kellen Mond would start, which would be rough.
Yeah, but if your employer is saying, I'm going to make your life a living hell if you don't do this, just do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. My employer's not doing that. I don't care what you do. But there's going to be controversy there. God forbid Aaron Rodgers gets sacked more than 2 times in the first week, because all hell's going to break loose if that's the case. They've got 2 starting rookies on the offensive line, and David Bakhtiari is not playing until at least mid-October.
So
they're going to be, it's going to be rough. So if he does start, I think he'll do well. I would like him to sit for an entire year, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. My thing with that, like my rebuttal for that is that I don't think I would like him to sit for a year. And I think Andy Dalton might actually hold it down for a while. I guess sounds like he's doing good. He's kind of, collectively good around the troops. People like him. They respect him. He's been playing well.
He'll do exactly what Mitch did last year. He'll get one win that he probably shouldn't have won, and then it'll postpone his life for probably 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, that's what'll happen. And it'll probably be against like the Minnesota Vikings or the Lions or something like that. Because in all, if you remember last year, DeAndre Swift dropped a game-winning touchdown for the Lions that Mitch Trubisky won that game. It was a comeback, and it prolonged that life about 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. It gave him an open window. Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, let's do this too. Do you think Trevor Lawrence starts week 1?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you can not do that, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you don't with
saying,
somebody that big. He's like 6'5", 6'6". Yeah. He's just a
Minshew,
freak.
Yeah, I guess Minshew he's not going down without a fight, blah, blah, blah.
But what did you do last year?
Yeah. I'm not a big Minshew guy.
You were a solid quarterback. You weren't great. You weren't bad, but you didn't do anything to prove to me. Yeah, I'm a starter. Glennon, right? Exactly. Yeah, you got benched for a wet paper towel.
Right? Yeah, basically.
Whatever.
So we'll say Lawrence starts week 1. I think he's going to have some struggles. He does have some weapons around him, which is nice, but it's the Jags.
Yep. Zach Wilson starts week 1. Easy.
I think it's a Joe Burrow type situation. He's going to give you some good shit. He's going to make some good plays. He's going to show that he's the guy, and he's a franchise quarterback, I believe.
Oh, yeah. But he'll make a lot of plays on his feet too, but that's not his game plan. Like, he's not a Cam Newton where he's going to opt to run first. He wants to throw, but he will run, and he will break one absolutely loose. 50-plus yards.
Right.
He's capable of doing that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we got Lawrence starting week 1. I think he'll have a subpar season, I mean,
what do you think wins-wise? You think he's going to get 4?
I was going to say 5 and 12 because there's 17 games now.
Yeah, without even seeing the schedule, which I haven't looked at a very long time, I would assume he's going to get 4 wins.
Yeah,
I would say that's pretty fair. Jets, they might get 2. I think the Jets are horrendously bad.
I think they're going to be terrible. I think Zach Wilson is going to get. I hope he does well. I never root for somebody's downfall, but I think he's going to get exposed
unless it's one particular person.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's Aaron Rodgers. I hope he doesn't throw another ball for the rest of his life. And if he does, it's an interception.
We shall not name like Voldemort on this show.
Yeah, Lord Voldemort. I don't
care.
And
then 3, Trey Lance. How long until you think Trey Lance starts over Jimmy G? What week?
I don't know.
I don't think Jimmy G's that bad. I think it's just it's going to be an injury. I don't think he's going to get replaced.
It is going to be an injury, but if it's straight replacing, I want to say maybe like week 7.
Okay.
Maybe 8, because you've had a couple games against your division. Definitely going to be close games because that's just how it is in that division. Doesn't matter if you're playing the Cardinals. Doesn't matter if you're playing the Seahawks. It's going to be a close game.
Right.
Probably a game you should have won that you lost. So the pressure's mounting.
On Jimmy G, it's going to make him
Trey
look worse.
Lance is the same player. Jimmy G just looks better. And
So, Trey Lance has much better
better
athleticism, but
yeah. Well, after an ACL, of course.
Right.
But and then same thing with like, let's go Lance. What do you or not Lance Fields? When do you realistically think he's going to start? Because he's going to start for a very particular reason. Because if they don't have a winning season this year, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace are gone. They're shit canned, no doubt.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I want to run through this. So here, I'm going to say this. I think that Andy Dalton is going to do an okay job.
I think so too.
I think from all of the reports, however, Justin Fields is wowing people.
Mm-hmm.
Like blowing people away. People like Louis Riddick, who are dead honest, not biased people, blowing him away. Yeah, you got Dan Orlovsky, who was bashing Fields pre-draft, is now saying how smart he is and how he thinks he's going to be good, which is usually a big indication that they're finding out some shit that they want to be on the right side of it before the ball starts rolling.
Yeah, they're not going to pull a Skip Bayless and say one thing today and then the next thing tomorrow, or Coward. All of a sudden he's an Aaron Rodgers hater, and then 2 seconds later he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to the NFL.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, for Fields, he's not going to start week 1, right? He's not going to start against the Rams on Sunday Night Football.
No. That might be a good thing because that game will go one of two ways. It's going to be a close game because Stafford knows that defense very well, or it's going to be an absolute ass whooping. I think that would be, even if the Bears do, take a whooping on that game, that's good for them because that's gonna put Fields in the game earlier.
Yeah, pressure on Dalton. Then they play the Bengals week 2.
That should be a win.
Chicago, they'll win that.
See, that's stupid and that just sucks for the Bears though. They're gonna get a big old. If they take a fat L week 1, they're gonna come back and be 1-1, right? Yep. So now you've prolonged that life. So what's week 3 looking like?
So this is the Bears, I think, have the second toughest schedule in the NFL, is what we saw.
Yeah, the whole NFC North their schedule's not good.
Very tough.
Very tough.
So Chicago then has week 3, the Cleveland Browns. So that could be a
game too.
Rough game. Same thing. It could go one of two ways. I think that the Bears defense can contain a guy like Baker and that offense, but they have so many weapons that you never know.
Not even talking about the wide receivers. You got Nick Chubb. Then you go to the wide receivers. Then you got, and
then they have a stacked defense.
Yeah.
And Bears
only got better.
So at this point, they're going to be probably 1-2.
Yep.
And then they play the Lions. So if they're 1-2 and Dalton struggled, you know what I mean? So then they're back to 2-2.
Yep. And then it prolongs it at least another week or two.
Then they play the Raiders.
That could go either way.
But
didn't they lose last year to the Raiders?
Yeah, but they played in London.
It was a close game and it was in London. Yeah.
They were up 14 or something like that.
Yeah, 16 in the third, I think.
Yeah, and they lost.
And then they lost.
So that could be the make or breaker for me. If they lose that game, I think Fields comes in next week against the Packers in Chicago.
Okay. I don't even think Matt Nagy's that dumb.
I don't know, man.
Fields in against the Packers first week.
Well, here's the rest of the schedule. Then they play the Packers, tough game.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play Tampa Bay, tough game. You're not going to start him against that defense because the Packers defense isn't great, right?
No.
So if you're going to make a good spot for him, that might be it. And then Chicago White Sox just beat the Cubs also. And then
I can beat the Cubs. Me at 11 starting positions.
And then they play the 49ers, tough game.
Yeah. Then
they play the Steelers week 9.
I think he'll come in the game after. I think he would come in against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I don't think they're gonna come in the Raiders, or excuse me, the Packers. It just doesn't seem very smart as a coaching decision, but we've seen dumber things happen.
Right. I mean, you never know, man. But what I'll do, I'll say that I think he comes in week 6 against Green Bay.
Okay. So you say week 6, I say 7. And then let's get to the last one before we go too long here. Mac Jones, which I've already said, it's a clown show. He's not going to start over Cam. Cam's going to look like garbage because he is garbage. He's been garbage since 2015. And Bill Belichick is going to get exposed. And I can't wait. Can't wait.
And you think Mac Jones comes in when?
Without looking at the schedule, I don't know what their schedule's looking like. I know that that Tom goes to Foxborough this year, and that's going to be a complete and utter shit show for the Patriots. I would say whatever game that is, the game after that, Mac Jones plays. Whether it's week 6, 8, 11, that's when he plays. The week after Tom comes.
Let's see. Week 1, Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. They'll lose that game.
Jets, Saints.
They'll win that game. They'll lose that game.
Saints aren't going to be good anymore. Remember that.
I know. They're still going to. I mean, the Patriots aren't good at all. They've got a couple starters on defense that came back that haven't played in a year and a half. So I don't care about them. I don't care about Stephon Gilmore. I don't care about Hightower. They mean nothing to me.
Bucks.
So Bucks is week 4.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. So you think week 5?
Week 5, Mac Jones starts. Yep.
Okay. So you got
I'll bet 69 cents on the air. 69 cents right now.
Yeah, I bet you 69 cents. You bet me 69 cents that he starts week 5. I bet you 69 cents that Fields starts week 6.
Okay.
All right. And then if neither of them start either of them, then
it's a wash.
You have to Venmo yourself 69 cents.
Yep.
All right.
And let Venmo know your deepest and darkest secret.
Yeah. You have to put, as the pay note, you have to put your deepest and darkest secret.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
All right, guys. That's all that we can do for you today. Just a little preview of the PC and Wolf show. Thanks for the warm welcome to the Lounge Room Network. Thanks again, Juan. Thanks again, Adam. We will get this posted up so you guys can check it out, and we will put it on all social media. You can always follow me at What's Wolf on Twitter. And for PC, you can follow us at
just PC and Wolf on Twitter. My Twitter is a personal one, and I have had it for 9 years, and I've got like 100 followers. I don't care about it. It's just for me talking shit to people. I'd rather you just follow our show, PC and Wolf, with underscores in between PC and Wolf. But yeah, that's about it. That's all we're gonna do today. The shows will probably be about an hour long. We're gonna be very widespread. We're gonna try to get through a lot of stuff because we are gonna go through the big 4: hockey, football, baseball, and basketball. Probably throwing a little bit of soccer and underwater basket weaving. But hockey, other than that, yeah, of course. So,
hell yeah. Well, for the first-time listener, welcome in. If you came back for some more pain, welcome back.
We got a lot of pain.